Celtic kicked off their title defence with a win last night, but there is plenty to talk about this morning beyond the 3 points. O'Neill has admitted one of his new signings was played in completely the wrong position. Everton are circling for one of Celtic's best players, and a former Celtic hero is telling them not to rush the sale. The new club record signing has sent a message to the fans after his debut, and O'Neill is sitting down with the Celtic chief executive this morning for a crucial transfer meeting. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Duran made his competitive debut for Celtic against Dundee on Monday night, but Martin O'Neill has already admitted that the position the Colombian played is not where his future lies at the club. Duran was one of the standout performers throughout pre-season, scoring 3 goals in 3 matches while leading the line through the middle. Against Sporting CP, Middlesbrough and AC Milan, he looked sharp, clinical and exactly the kind of forward Celtic supporters had hoped for when the signing was announced. But with club record arrival Casper Ho handed his debut from the start, O'Neill chose to move Duran out to the right wing to fit both strikers into the X-side. The experiment did not produce the results the manager was hoping for. Duran struggled to influence the game from wide and looked visibly less comfortable than he had been through the middle during the warm-up games. Speaking after the match, O'Neill was honest about it, saying, "I do think that when the season progresses that they will be really good for us. I don't think that wide right is really Camilo Duran's position, but we put him there because we haven't really had a chance to practice that much with maybe the two of them playing together or him playing just behind." The manager sees a future for both Duran and Ho in the same side, but the shape used against Dundee is clearly not the long-term answer. Whether that means a switch to a 2-striker system or Duran operating just behind Ho as a second forward, O'Neill will be working out the best solution on the training pitch. What is clear is that Celtic are trying to build something exciting up front, and Duran through the middle is a very different proposition to Duran on the wing. Now for the main story, as O'Neill is set to sit down with Celtic Chief Executive Michael Nicholson this morning for fresh transfer talks, with the manager pushing hard to accelerate recruitment before the Champions League qualifier deadline closes in. Celtic began their Premiership title defence with a 1-0 win over Dundee on Monday night, Benjamin Nygren heading home a Tierney cross in the 52nd minute to seal the points. It was a solid start, but the performance highlighted the need for more quality in the squad, with Celtic looking short of creativity at times against a well-organised Dundee side. So far this summer, Celtic have made just 2 signings, Camilo Duran and club record arrival Casper Ho. For a window that was billed as a significant rebuild, supporters expected considerably more business before the league campaign started. After the match, O'Neill was measured but made clear he still has faith in the board. He said, "I'm really happy. I think I've got faith in the board that we will get the players in that I'm looking for, that I think will supplement the squad. And I think the players that I bring into the football club are good enough for the next manager to think, yeah, that's worthwhile, rather than changing round again." On the meeting with Nicholson, O'Neill said, "I still think that we are. I will speak to Michael tomorrow morning, see where we are. I just left. I spoke to him briefly today, but it was about just, let's concentrate on the game tonight. Tomorrow is another day." Celtic are understood to be preparing an improved offer for Mika Bauer of SC Paderborn after an initial bid was rejected. The club are also looking at options in wide areas and at left back, as O'Neill tries to move several long-running deals closer to the finish line before the Champions League qualifier against Lask arrives. In other news, Scott Brown has delivered a confident verdict on Kieran Tierney's future, insisting the left-back is going nowhere and that no bid will change that. Tierney was Celtic's best player against Dundee on Monday, providing the pinpoint cross from which Nygren headed the winner. It was a performance that perfectly illustrated why Celtic value him so highly and why other clubs keep coming back. La Liga side Osasuna had made an approach for Tierney in recent weeks, which Celtic promptly rejected. The 29-year-old only returned to the club last summer after 6 years at Arsenal, including a loan spell at Real Sociedad, and the Hoops made absolutely clear they had no interest in selling. Brown, who played alongside Tierney for years and knows exactly what the player means to Celtic, spoke on BBC Sports Sound and was very direct. He said, "To be fair, he's come back. Kieran's going nowhere. He loves the football club. You never know what can happen in football. But for me, that is Kieran Tierney there. I love watching the wee man play. His passion, and when there's a 50-50, he wins it. When there's a ball that goes in the box, he puts his head on it. But then it's the quality that he's got on the other side as well. You can see why he went down to Arsenal, because people see that, and you can see why other teams want that. Celtic's lucky enough to have Kieran, Callum, and Jamesy for that long a period, because maybe other players just get up and leave. But these ones love the club that much that they stay. They stay for the passion, they stay for the trophies, and they stay for the legacy as well. While Tierney appears safe, the same cannot be said for Alistair Johnston and Arnie Engels, both of whom started against Dundee despite serious transfer interest. Everton are pushing for Johnston and West Ham are pursuing Engels. Those situations are moving in a very different direction. In other news, Celtic have been told to wait before sanctioning any sale of Alistair Johnston, with former Scotland international James McFadden warning the club not to rush the deal until the right replacement is in place. Johnston's name on the team sheet for Monday's opener raised eyebrows given how heavily the Canadian has been linked with a move to the Premier League. Everton are reportedly preparing a bid of around £15 million after Johnston's outstanding performances at the World Cup with Canada. With 3 years still remaining on his Celtic contract, the club are under no obligation to sell, but the speculation is not going away. At full time, Johnston joined his teammates for the lap of appreciation, applauding the Celtic Park support. For some supporters in the ground, it raised the uncomfortable question of whether they had just seen the last time he would do that as a Celtic player on home soil. McFadden's advice is clear. Speaking on Sky Sports, he said, "I don't think that there's any rush for Celtic to sell him. I don't think there's any need to rush it. They either wait till after the Champions League or they wait till they get a replacement. If they know that Alistair Johnston, when he leaves, there's someone ready to come in or they can get someone in before him, then absolutely fine. If there's not a replacement ready before he goes, no, I wouldn't." It is hard to argue with that. Celtic head into a Champions League qualifier against Lask with a squad that is already light in key areas. Selling a player of Johnston's quality without a ready-made replacement in place would be a significant risk. The board will need to be very sure of what comes next before agreeing to let him go. Lastly, new Celtic signing Casper Ho has sent a warm message to the Celtic supporters after making his competitive debut in Monday's 1-0 win over Dundee, with the striker reflecting on a night he will not forget in a hurry. Ho was handed a start by O'Neill and was involved throughout the evening. He found space in dangerous areas and showed the movement and positioning that made Celtic spend a club record fee to bring him from his former club. The finishing touch was not quite there on this occasion, with his closest effort drifting narrowly wide in the second half, but he never stopped working and never went hiding. After the game, Ho was honest and showed exactly the kind of mentality Celtic fans will want to see from a player carrying big expectations. He smiled and admitted he would need some shooting practice. He also pointed to the adjustment of playing on grass again after time on artificial pitches in Norway. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.